Hi everyone, my name is Russell.
And I'm Richard.
And we are with the Lafayette Beer League.
Tonight we are going to be talking about Black Acres Brewing Company's Hop Pun, which is a really good representation of a double IPA. But before we get into all that, we really wanted to give you some information about the brewery.
Right, so the brewery was established in 2011 in Irvington, Indiana. Their story begins in 2008 over an icebreaker when Jordan and Justin found out each other's hobby of home brewing. Over the course of a few years, they brewed together and decided that they were going to start Black Acres. It's a pretty awesome story. I definitely recommend you checking it out on their website for the more extended details.
Yeah, and we provided that link below. So they really wanted to get involved with the craft beer revolution that was going on in Indiana, and one way they wanted to do that was by bringing back this idea of pre-prohibition style breweries. Black Acre found a home for their smaller 3-barrel system brewery in the charming neighborhood of Irvington. And since the brewery is on the smaller side, they focus mostly on seasonal and specialty ales, but also a few times a few of their beers become flagship beers, and so they keep those around all year.
Right, it's like their Saucy Intruder. But tonight we're actually going to be drinking Hop Pun, which is their double IPA. It's going to come in at around 8.5% ABV, so this is definitely more of a doozy on the beer front. You can have maybe 2 or 3 of these before you start feeling a little
Sauced.
Yeah, as for the bitterness, it's at 100 IBUs, so it's definitely going to be a really hoppy beer. So, like, right away, you can kind of look at the appearance of this beer. It's that golden to light color, like copper.
Yeah. Has a really nice white foamy head, which is actually has a really nice retention rate too. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's like,
this is nice.
It's really nice. Like, honestly, really excited about that head retention and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't have a whole lot of aroma as far as hoppy goes. Like, I don't feel like it's super. It's not going to be right there in your face. You can smell the hops and you can kind of notice them, but they are not in any kind of capacity floral or like super present or anything like that.
I feel a little bit of that has to do with the glassware that we use. I would really like to see us getting into something that has like a flute or like something to kind of
like a sifter,
a sifter or something like that for us to really be tasting these beers and give them the whole sensory experience.
Yeah. Any of our viewers out there that has some glassware that they want to donate, or shameless plug your stuff on.
Right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it because we like glassware and we'll it's cool.
We'll put it in there.
So let's get back to talking the beer.
Yeah.
The taste of this beer is going to be absurdly high hop bitterness, and that's because it's at 100 IBUs.
Right.
It's going to have that lower maltiness in the flavor because those hops are just going to be coming in so strongly.
It's super hoppy.
Yeah, like
so hoppy.
If you don't like the bitterness that comes with a double IPA, this guy, he's more into those sours, those
sour saison and funkies. I'm all about them.
Yes, he is. Which we gotta find something for our next video on that.
Any suggestions? Put them in the comments.
Right. We're starting to run out of beers.
Man.
Right. We didn't think it'd happen so fast.
But here we are. But like you were saying, it's super hoppy and super bitter, which is something that you really enjoy and that you really like.
Yeah.
That's a.
So on the mouthfeel, it's going to be a medium to light body. I think this has a little bit more of a smooth texture to it.
I agree. I think that it's super. It's easy drinking, and it's not going to be very. Like, it's not carbonated overly or anything like that. Like, it's lighter. It's not super heavy or anything like that. It is a easily drinkable beer if you're into bitter beers and stuff like that. Like, for me, not a fan at all.
Right.
This is not my style, but this is a very good representation of said style.
Yeah, it doesn't have that really strong alcohol taste that you'll find when you get into the beers that like get the alcohol content up there. But 8.5 is still on the lower end of boozy IPAs. Like, this is getting into the booziness of it.
Right.
But you're not gonna get that strong alcohol taste from this one.
Right. Which it kind of comes in at anything over, I'd say 10. Anything over 10, you probably start getting more into the
right.
Alcohol,
You're gonna start tasting the alcohol a little bit more.
Sort of thing.
Even at 9, you'll start noticing it a little easier.
And just to kind of drill in the idea that this is so hoppy. They used 5 types of hops, like they say on a can, with a healthy addition of 5 types of hops. This double IPA is bursting with flavor, offering a bright finish and an intense experience, which is money. Like, that is a money description. So I don't have a whole lot to say more about that beer other than talking about the can art, which is kind of more of a minimalist design, I think.
Yeah, and I like how they've made the lines more rigid and more cubed, almost. I like how it's not very many colors as well. It's black, silver, and white.
Right. And they do, I think it's kind of cool, like they always have that crow in there, which is kind of like a thing that they do. We haven't really figured out what they are.
What's the story
what the story
behind
it is. We're probably going to try to reach out to them and kind of figure that out. We'll post it somewhere and we'll get it to you. But we know that all of their beer cans and all of their beer art and stuff like that has a crow in it, so, or a bird of some sort. I think it's a crow. I'm just gonna go with a crow.
Sparrow? I don't know. Bird.
Bird.
Put a bird on it.
Bird is bird.
Do you remember that show, Portlandia? Put a bird on it?
I never really watched Portlandia.
Oh man, it was like great. I don't know if it's still on TV or not, but I watched it for a couple seasons.
It's definitely on Hulu.
Yeah, which that's kind of just brings us to our ratings. So
Right.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that part.
All right. So basically, we always break it down to 3 ratings from Rate Beer, Beer Advocate, and Untapped. Rate Beer had this at 3.3 out of 5 with 11 ratings. Beer Advocate had it 4.15 out of 5 with 15 ratings, and Untapped had it at 3.93 out of 5 with 1,312 ratings. I kind of feel that Rate Beer is pretty low as far as like where
this beer should be at.
Because I do think this is a really good representation of this style. I think this is a fantastic beer for those people who do like bitterness. This is obviously not my favorite beer. This is obviously not my style. But I personally am probably going to go with a 3.8 just because I think that if you tell me a double IPA and you're going to give me this beer, I'm definitely picturing this flavor. I'm definitely picturing this
experience.
This experience is exactly what I'm picturing, and I think they hit the nail on the head with that. So,
I actually am a little biased on this beer. First off, I love the brewery itself. Like, the physical location is really cool, and I fell in love with it almost immediately.
Right.
So there's that sentimental value about this beer. I already really like their Saucy Intruder, so that kind
I
of,
haven't had that one.
yeah, it's a rye IPA.
Ooh, actually, probably would like that one.
Boost up that. They're a really good brewery, and that's why I'm going to give this a 4.5 because I agree with you. They hit it on the head, like they've hit this style very accurately, and then finally, like, I enjoy it. Like, I want to drink more of this, you know?
Yeah. I think the only thing that I would ever say that I would want in addition to this beer would be maybe a little bit more of a floral or a nose to it, a little bit more aroma. I think that if it had a little bit more nose presence, that would probably put me at more of a 4.2 or 4.3 area, just because where in that area I'm getting more towards personal opinion versus style wise. I think up to 4.
But I see what you're meaning, you know, whenever we think about the style itself, it's supposed to have a strong hop aroma, and this one does have a hop aroma, but it doesn't hit you, and I don't know if that's necessarily what they were trying to achieve.
Right, which is, it's totally fine. If that's not what they're trying to achieve, that's totally cool. I
still think it's a quality beer, that's why. But that brings us up to a 3.94, which is very similar to Untapped. We
always think
we generally agree with them on their ratings. So
Untapped is generally a very good resource as far as
quick reference.
If you just pull out your Untapped, find the beer, and they're going to have a brief description and probably a pretty good rating as far as the style goes and everything like that. So
absolutely. Anyways, the only thing I want to add to this whole entire video is the fact that I think it's funny how they have hop pun and there's a rabbit, because I think that's the pun, but Richard has his own opinion on what the pun in hop pun is. I
think it's because the rabbits hop around, they put a rabbit on it, and hops go into the beer. I don't know. I'm just BSing right now, honestly.
Well, there you go. Thank you everyone for watching. Please like, subscribe, and do all the things to show your love and support for the LBL.
Yeah, and like always, for any more information about this beer, the brewery, or anything else that we just talked about in the video, we have links down below and more information down below. And remember, just please keep exploring beer.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day.